Hi, I'm Josef. For the ones that don't know me, I work for Red Hat at Fedora QA, and we try to make Fedora as great as possible. And sadly, our best colleague is not here because Adam Williamson, which you already know, I guess, from the memo list, is the robotic monkey that makes it all possible. Anyway, we don't only do release validation, we also try to get people to join the awesome community, help us with the testing, hopefully getting joined into the whole process, and maybe if we do our work right, they will get hired by IBM now. And that's why we're here. Like, some of the work we do is engaging the community, especially high school and university students, and we try to give them work, honestly, because when we say, hey, this is this awesome company, Red Hat, which allows you to do open source, you can do awesome stuff in your free time, you can get stuff on your resume, and then you'll get hired, probably, if you get known. And they ask, wow, that's okay, so what can we do? What can we do? And then the hard part begins, because as much as Fedora has an awesome set of documentation put together, well, by them mostly, I think we have a problem, because it's walls of text. The text is awesome, it's complete, but that's the problem, right? Because the text is complete and you need to grasp it in the whole eternity of the text, and you need to understand all the details in order to participate efficiently. And Camille and I, and especially Lukáš, my QA, we decided that we want to lower the barrier and we want to make it more accessible. So the problem we came up to was the wall of text, and the thing that we, the control freaks that we are in Fedora QA, try to do things in the best way, always, like be the most correct, be the most complete. And that's awesome, but it's also a problem. So we sit down and we identify some of the processes that we always try to engage people with. And it's stuff like manual testing, right? Because everybody can install Fedora and everybody can put a mark in the wiki page, everybody can submit a bug, but not that many people know what should you actually put in the bug report. So it's helpful, and you don't get chased by the developers, you don't get chased by the QA saying, hey, like, nice work, we are grateful that you've came, but like, we need the details, we need to know how it happened, we need to have some data, and the people don't have it, like they don't remember because they didn't know. And there's stuff like testing updates, like you don't feel like submitting bug reports, fair point. You can only install Fedora, you can only use it, and when you use it, you can submit your experience. In a simple way, you can use Karma. It's easy, but you need to know it exists. And it's written there, like there's thousands of lines of text, it's written there, but you necessarily don't need to identify that this is the thing you can do easily. So we had an idea. Originally, we wanted to make this part of the Fedora hubs. Seemed like the best place, but sadly, it's gone now. So we've spent a couple of days with JavaScript, the new hotness, and put together a web page. There's two facets to all of this. The more important for now, I think, is this one. So these are the tasks that we identified that are easy to get people engaged, that are easy. That are easy to describe in their fullness, maybe, and that are specific to Fedora QA. So release validation, testing body karma, and then easy fixes, because easy fixes is an awesome page, right? But for me, personally, it lacks something. It's just a list of projects. It doesn't tell you much more than, hey, the project exists, and if you want to know more, ping somebody. And that's awesome, but you know, still something to be done there. So what we wanted to do is get the expert knowledge, distill it, and put it in a easy, accessible list of steps. So say with Fedora release validation, is there somebody who haven't seen the testing matrices? All right. Maybe the internet is working, so let me. So the thing is that we have this huge list of test cases, basically, and each of the test cases is well defined. You can read how to test, where to get all the stuff, but it's tons of data, right? And if you want to be the most helpful, you probably want to check something that's empty, like this thing with the VNC, because nobody tested it. You want to be helpful, so you find something. But it's still not the best way. Like, the best test cases you could help us with are those which weren't tested for a long time. And this is test for rawhide from a couple of days ago, maybe a week, I think. And there's a compose every day, sometimes. And you shouldn't necessarily have to go through all the history and say, okay, so I see that somebody tested this one today, but it's the first one after a couple of months, so maybe I should help there, because it doesn't really have the coverage, but you don't necessarily have the data. So this is where this thing gets to, because we can take the wiki pages, we can parse them, and we can get the knowledge from them. So we say, okay, so if you are interested in testing cloud, that means that you might be able to work with OpenStack, you might be able to work with EC2, but you can also do it locally, don't be scared. So there's crossing the barrier. And then you can see, okay, so there's these test cases, like, I don't know, base startup, I'm interested, and you get a list, an easy list that you can follow. And maybe you already know some of these tests, but you forgot. Maybe you don't, and if you need to know more, it's just at your grasp. Like, I don't know where to find an ISO, for example, not sure how, see it. Like, not sure what the environments can be, because we have server, we have Silverblue, we have tons of stuff. Like, there's tons of stuff to get, and we try to, like, see which is the best way to approach it, which is the most helpful way for you to test, and you get all the information. And then again, like, if you found a bug, not everybody knows what should they write into the Bugzilla, right? So there's a list. And that's what we like. This is with all of the tasks that we identified, we try to distill it down, we try to make the best decisions for the people, because we did it a bunch of times. Like, every new person asks the same questions, right? Like, it's always the same questions, and we have it documented. You all do, I guess. But then again, it's like one bullet point in the middle of the other bullet points that are necessarily not the most important ones. So that's the idea. We want to identify tasks that are accessible for beginners, meaning that most anybody should be able to do it with some skill set. Like, you cannot hop on fixing bugs in kernel without some C knowledge, I guess. But then again, there can be easy fixes in kernel. Why not? There can be some, but you should be able to say, okay, I know C. Show me all the projects that have some C sources, and show me the descriptions on one place, and give me the emails or the handles or the web pages. And that's what we did with the easy fixes. Like, the page is awesome, but we wanted to enrich it. And in the end, like, I'd like to get all the information directly into easy fixes, right? So it's not just in this one place, but it's more like a hub. But I still didn't get to there, but I'll do it, right? But at the moment, that's the information we missed, and we collected it, we've shown it. And here's where I want some input from you, honestly, because with Fedora QA, we did it. And now we want to scale up, and we'd like to hear from you what are your pain points? Like, what's the thing that you tell to each newcomer? So we can distill it down, we can show it, and we can then say, okay, all the great people in the university who came to, let's start with Fedora, let's start with Linux, what can you do? Just hit this web page. There's most of the information. And if you're not sure, just pick a random name, because you want to program in C. Well, ping someone. You want to program in Python, just there's me, like you will get to the person directly. And now I guess it's on you, like where do you come from, what do you do, and do you think you have something like that? Do you have something? Okay.
So I see this is a like really interesting and awesome project and of the how it feels. It's really nice, but I see the problem of scalability here. So people cannot come to you every time they want to add the information to the portal and something like new should be there. So the question is how to integrate it into other interfaces we have. So have you thought about like creating a generic, common, easy fix for Fedora tag, for example, in Pagure, so all people across different projects can use it consistently in their issues tracker, and you get kind of representation of it in this portal?
Okay, so if I understood correctly, you're asking whether we can do some kind of tagging on the same level as easy fixes. I guess why not, honestly? Like, it just didn't occur to me. It would be awesome. The thing is, what I love about easy fixes, right, is that anybody can just say, hey, this is an easy fix tag, and the application will get it, and we'll just show it. Like, sure. The thing is, we obviously do this in an open source way, and all the data that's shown, it's just grabbing some JSONs and showing them. Like, we can easily, you don't necessarily need to even like go into the project. You just, if you have the right JSON, the stuff will be shown. But at the moment, this is a proof of concept. So the idea is awesome. My question would be, like, do you see at the moment some specific, let's say, I don't know what your use case would be, but let's say there's some, speaking about easy fixes, so let's say, do you think there might be something like an activity tagged in a wiki, for example, that could be tagged with something like that, or what was the idea? Like,
in wiki or in Pagure? Because like we have multiple Fedora projects which are using Pagure to track the work and so on, and also Taiga. Yes, so we have several resources where people do their work, and I think it's nice to be able to connect to those resources and get the information from there, rather than expect developers to come to another resource and market here.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe, awesome. So maybe I wasn't really clear. Might have been my English, might have been that I slept for hours, but the thing is, this is really just a front, honestly. It collects the data, like it collects the data from easy fixes, it collects the data from the web pages. So what I've seen with easy fixes, for example, there's tons of projects that are not programming, right? There's a project on Pagure that is documentation, for example, like how there might be outreach, stuff like that. So there are also easy fix projects tagged in there. But at the moment I've missed them because I wasn't really sure how to properly discern them, right? Like, how do you tell an easy fix for a community issue from an easy fix kind of based on programming? So maybe we can add another tag, like for the social activities, which would be awesome. Like,
I think we need to like come up with some naming schema, maybe namespace for tags, so that all projects which are on Pagure can share. And then in this naming schema, you can have like an easy fix prefix and then categorization, like in which category this easy fix belongs to. So for non-categorized, it will be just generic easy fix, but if you want to be more specific, you can add something. So I think it's more about discussing with owners of those Pagure repos what the naming convention they can agree with. And then we just can implement this naming convention as a source of data for this service. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome idea. Thank you. So yeah, there's that. Like, I love it because I've came to the same issue, right? Like, I've seen easy fixes that are documentation, that are problems that cannot be solved by coding, and especially those easy fixes, like the easy fix page, like I was talking about enhancing the experience, like straight to the point, because if I get to the easy fix page, I probably would miss that I can just write documentation, I can translate, I can help organizing events, right? That's all easy fixes, or it's tagged in Pagure like easy fixes. So awesome, thank you for that. So anybody else has some idea? Like, do you think for the newcomers, do you think that you have some processes in your teams or communities that are always repeated? Like, for example, when you get to a group of students from a high school and say, hey, we are from this awesome team and we want your help, you can do X. And then you realize that you're always saying, like, to do X, you need to download this thing. You need to make a decision based on some prior knowledge. And the people get back to, like, I'd like to download, for example, I'm from Fedora, so they say, like, which ISO should I download? Which Fedora release should I install? Which? So that's the expert knowledge. And then it's where should I find the most recent bugs? Where should I find the blocker bugs? What are blocker bugs? Like, tell me. We want to make a hub of information, but not only information, we want to make a hub of simple processes. So if you have some ideas or examples, we'd be glad to hear it, because this is not really about me telling you what we did. I'd like to get the input and make it better, make it awesome.
Hello, my name is Alberto. Actually, I'm part of the Fedora Join SIG. It's a group of people looking for new contributors in a lot of parts of the project. The basic idea was a hub of a single entry point to the project. I have a couple of questions. This page is linked to the what can I do for the Fedora project page?
Yeah, sure. You mean?
I
one,
mean,
right?
if we point some people to the what can I do for the Fedora project page, and they, okay, QA is awesome. I click the link. Open this page?
Yeah, the link is here. Honest, not sure if that's big enough, but like in this area, if you didn't find anything
okay,
helpful,
I'm.
But I might be misunderstanding. Sorry.
The opposite direction, right?
Oh yeah, okay, sure.
Because for the Fedora join team is
this one, right?
Is the entry point. I don't know what can I do. Okay, check this, and maybe you can find something to do. But the question is, if I go to the QA section of this page, this is pointing to the new page about the new page of the QA team.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? I honestly didn't bother any of you with it, because it's living on an URL that's probably temporary at the moment. And then, with me thinking like maybe too big from the beginning, I wasn't sure that it might, I wasn't sure it wouldn't just end up being like with all the project in the end, like with all the project being like, if you didn't find something you like here, maybe go check on the other page. So I didn't come up with a reasonable solution to just not pollute the whole ecosystem. But I'd love to work on it with you, especially if you like it. Like, absolutely.
Okay. This is más a comment. Actually, use the RIC protocol is a little difficult for newcomers. Maybe you have a Telegram bridge for the RIC channel.
I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
So understood, we do. So
maybe it's a good idea to put that in the page, because it's on one of the single points with the people say, okay, I don't know who do that. No. Matrix also works, but Telegram. When we have a solution for the Telegram bridge, it's pretty easy. Use that, join to the group, and start talking. Um, this is a great idea. Put it that. I love your page. The joint SIG will be very appreciate a lot that the SIGs and another parts of the project document very well their process to the newcomers. So maybe okay, we will do a promotion of the site, of course, and we will study that. Maybe we can fork that because
Sure.
it's a great idea.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm glad you like it, honestly. So, promotion of this thing wasn't the top of my to-do list because, once again, still proof of concept. But yeah, like absolutely, if you're willing to just add a link somewhere, like with the Telegram, I love it. Like I don't use Telegram that much, but I guess it's something like with the IRC channel notes, something like that. When you join, you just get, hey, I've seen you've joined for the first time after a long time. Maybe this is important too. Maybe you check it out, something like that. Sounds awesome. Love it.
I have a couple of more suggestions. Like this format of describing the activity, I really like it, but I feel like again, projects will not come to you to describe their process in this format. So I think it's better to, if you would share the best practices or how to write such a nice document for people, and then projects can use your approach as a template. And so I would fill my data in the fields, but I will get the same behavior. And so that, like, I'm not a JavaScript person.
Sure.
Yeah, I have no idea how to implement this manually. So if you just say me, if I put this in those text like file, if I put in these lines my text, then it will show up nicely like this. This would be already an awesome tool for every project. Will have a format to describe their newcomer process in a nice way, so we can join this, and then we just would aggregate it on the certain front end, but like every project will maintain his own like page for this kind of data. So share the template basically. And also, I don't know if you heard, Fedora infrastructure team will going to provide an OpenShift for community projects.
Finally, that's awesome.
Yes, so it was announced yesterday, and you can actually already get the access there. So you can migrate to pod in an OpenShift community OpenShift instance of Fedora project. And
haven't heard. That's awesome.
They are sitting in another room right now, like talking about it.
I
but
know.
you should just find Kevin and ask him for access, and he will add you to as an early access for this project. Yeah,
that's great news. But getting back to your previous comment, that's a great idea. Like I've been thinking about templates, but I didn't get all the way. Like I was still thinking about the templates on the data level, like engineer, right? And what you say makes much sense. Like if we, especially in combination with some of the Pegger tags, for example, so we can easily identify the projects and do not need to crawl the whole Pegger for just this one specific file. That makes a lot of sense to me. And honestly, some of this is static data, right? I don't know, the body karma. It's just describing the process. It's exactly what you just said. Some of it is like pulling and combining data, and that's something on the next level where we can then work together with the people, but just being able to say, hey, I have dumbed down this process of our SIG or something like that. Can you show it for us? Here's a file. Sounds awesome, and the template could be easy. Like, do you think that the template could be just a, I don't know, structured, like restructured text, something like that, saying, hey, fill these in order to...
Commented text file with like fields and where you
Yeah.
you need to fill in the text. For me, it would work definitely.
Yeah, absolutely love it. That's awesome. So yeah, I'll get a piece of paper and write it down.
Also, like I see the applications, for example, for docs site, I can add some custom JavaScript to docs site, so I can actually, to my generic doc about my project, I can add pages which will be formatted in the way which the custom JavaScript will show like this. So it will be a nice addition to docs engine, basically. If we get it to the sites also, we will render this pages like this as a part of the documentation pages.
Yeah, yeah, I quite like it. It's what, and honestly, that's why I wanted to do it, because what you just said is so simple yet so complicated for somebody like me to come up with. So, so awesome. Thank you for the input. That's absolutely doable. Like, I'm not saying I'm gonna do it on the way back to Brno, but I think it's on a scale where it's super easy to do, and the work is more in communicating with people and trying to decide, like, maybe we can enrich the easy fix tag in Pigger some bit, and maybe we can put together some standard for a community information file, something like that. So, awesome.
Yeah, so it would be like optional, but we
absolutely.
will have the possibility for projects to easily expose their like public interface to people.
Yeah.
Format.
Absolutely. Thank you. Anyone else wants to share? All right, so thank you for coming. I honestly hoped I'll get at least an hour of ideas, but then again, there's more of it than I expected when I found out that it's 9 a.m. Sunday. So thank you very much for coming. I'm glad you came. This has been super helpful for me. Like, I'm glad that you like it. I'm especially psyched for the new ideas. And I'll put some kind of small-ish presentation to chat. I'll put down at least. Yeah. And there'll be contact information. So for you that forgot my name already, you could ping me, and hopefully we'll push this further. So thank you very much.